Hello and welcome to this video in which I would like to give you my top 8 for Dansk Melodi Grand Prix 2024.
A disclaimer. I hadn't addressed this before because I had hoped that the EBU would come to the correct decision by now, but since they have not, I do need to address it myself. Israel should not be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. If Russia hadn't been banned in 2022, maybe we'd be having a different conversation right now, and on a personal note, maybe Eurovision wouldn't have become such an important part of my life, but this is the reality that we are living in, so this is the conversation that we are having. Regardless of what you think of the current atrocities happening in Gaza, intentionally cutting off other people's access to food, water, and electricity is abhorrent, not to mention the act of killing. If you think governments and broadcasters should be considered as separate entities, consider the situation with Russia again. There is a video explaining why Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate linked in the description, and the creator also calls to action about what you can do yourself. Please watch that video and do something. Further resources are also listed as and when they become relevant. I'll stop talking about this when it stops being relevant.
My honest expectations for Denmark are very low. They seem to be scared of winning again ever since they won in 2013, and I'm expecting a lot of generic radio-friendly, largely pop in English, and I'm not expecting to find my favourite amongst these because they are just scared of winning, it seems. Also, things happening today. It has officially been confirmed that Romania will not be participating in Eurovision 2024, which is pretty sad, but not unexpected. The German TV show Ich will zum ESC has started streaming in the ARD Mediathek, and I have watched all 3 episodes. It's fairly interesting, and to be honest, I've become attached to quite a few of these people, so it's going to be so hard to only see one of them go through to the German national selection, and then statistically probably not go to Eurovision, but then again, because of the way Germany is, maybe actually yes. Robin, please stop writing X's in my notes. Love you. Well, my whole page is just going to be X's now. I would recommend it if you understand at least a bit of German, because while you can listen to the singing without understanding the German, and you can see the emotions, the show is in German with no English subtitles, I guess because it's made for the Mediathek and not for a more international streaming service. But let's stay on topic and give you my top 8 after I've listened to the songs. In my 8th spot, I've unfortunately got Real Love by Rosie Lou. It's got a good bass in the song, but there's not much else I can compliment it on. For me, I didn't really connect with it. It feels like she would sound good live, but I got bored halfway through the song and there was nothing new in it for me. She could have been a victim of the running order though, because I'd listened to her song after another song that's pretty similar, which has placed 7th in my ranking, that being I Need Your Love by Janos Wilberg. It's also a kind of nothing ballad. I don't really think there's anything that you couldn't have predicted in the song, and it doesn't really build within the first 2 minutes, which I think is a problem because you need to grab people's attention. And the bridge also goes nowhere. It does absolutely nothing. I don't know if they had enough time to finish their songs, but it really didn't feel like they did. In my 6th spot, I do have Sand by Saba, which seems to be the fan favourite right now, but there's not much happening in the pre-chorus. It feels very empty, to me in a bad way. Maybe to some people it will be effective. But the chorus has the extra stuff, and the lyrics are so predictable. I don't know that there was any single line that I was surprised by, which doesn't need to happen, but these are also just overused lyrics in my opinion. The song goes nowhere. The bridge is okay, which is why it's placed higher than the other 2, and I can also see some potential, if the staging is good, that the song could be really elevated by that. In my 5th spot, I've got The Chase Zoom Zoom by Choo Choo, which was slightly more interesting in this field of Danish generic, generally sad pop. The spoken word bit is a little bit cringy, but it's very modern, and I think this could also have a dance in it. I think that could also be something that would make it stand out with the live performance. The song builds at the very least, unlike some of the other ones so far, and it has A1 potential. If I had listened to it a few times, maybe melody would get stuck in my head. It's not really for me, but I can understand how it could be fun. In my 4th spot, I've got Sign Here by Stella, which sounds a little bit indie to me. Maybe it's about the music industry dreams. It's very repetitive. The story is somewhat interesting, which is why it's gone up higher than the other ones. I also just generally kind of like the sound. In my 3rd spot, I've got Aura, who I have since found out that is maybe someone that I've already kind of known about because some songs were popular about a decade ago. The opening is a little bit mystical and I can't quite understand the lyrics, which seems to be bugging me awful lot this Eurovision season. There is a fun beat in the background of the chorus, and the mystically bit, which is a bit like yodely, a bit like spiritual, a bit, I don't know, sounds a bit like Old MacDonald again. I just keep coming back to EIO. There's a key change, maybe, very early on. I'm not sure if I understand what a key change means. I don't have any proper musical training, only what I gather from YouTube and Eurovision. And the whistle notes, if those are sung live, could be very effective as well. But the spoken word bit is also not very effective for me. In my second spot, I do have Johnny by Basim, which doesn't seem to be a lot of people's favourite, but I like that there's a story being told, even if it's a little bit predictable and direct and sad. It might have been better to have a slightly less predictable story, but that's fine. I do like the beat. There's TikTok virality potential with the messed up lyrics, and I do generally agree with the message. It feels personable because you've got this character who's called Johnny. Whether they actually existed or not doesn't really matter. But the point is that we are forced to imagine a person, which makes the song stand out slightly more. And the staging could go either way. It could be a little bit cute and a little bit of a tribute to potential Johnny, but it could also be a bit angsty and angry at the world as to why things happen the way they happen. And my number one is actually Planetary Hearts by Ublu, which isn't really a surprise that I do like bands, and this has a twinge of rock to it. It's weird as expected, as you can see from the picture, that this band would like to be a bit weird, which I can stand behind. True Start is good, the sort of opening is a bit weird, but the instrumental is cosmic sounding, which it seems to be what they want because the song is called Planetary Heart and it matches their picture. The chorus is great, I really enjoy it. The song builds, there's already staging because you just do planets and whatever and that works. The breakdown is also nice. So the song overall works the best for me. I don't know that it would come in my top 10 of Eurovision overall, but that's what I really enjoy from these 8 songs. I'm not gonna yammer on much more because I wasn't very inspired by these songs. Maybe with staging they could really come alive, but just in the studio versions, nothing speaks to me so much, unfortunately. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it maybe. I'll see you in the next one whenever that shows up in your feed. Bye!